Hey, what's up guys? Mark here. I just wanted to give you guys a quick video on braided hose and AN fittings. There's a lot of information out there, but there's a lot of misinformation or just questionable, answers. Typically, I'm going to say this. These are cheap Amazon fittings. With barely any force, they stripped. They feel cheap. They feel very cheap. Well, I stripped one of them, I should say. I was trying to put one together. These are Russell. Earl's is also another good brand. It's pretty much out of Brock and Holly. These are nicer fittings. The end of them has this little bevel here. The other fittings was just straight the whole way. This I feel like is going to clamp onto the hose better. So here's how I do the fittings. I use a piece of electrical tape and wrap it around the end, or wrap it around the stainless, no more than 2 times. And then I make my cut, whatever you want to cut it with. A Dremel, hacksaw, whatever. Just make sure the edges are not frayed. Keep your electrical tape and pull it tight so that you get a tight fitting. Then I take like a piece of blue painter's tape and I put it at the bottom of the fitting. Okay, well then you're gonna fish this end over the line. I'm not going to be able to do that because I don't think I have tape on the other side of this, but I'll just show you guys. Okay, this is kind of an example. You'll fish this end over the line and it'll bottom out into the fitting, which, let me see if I can put a light on that to show you, which it'll come all the way up right to beneath the threads there. So yes, it'll come all the way up right to beneath the threads. Okay. Once you have that all the way in, you'll put your tape. You can use electrical tape. I just use blue painter's tape at the bottom of your fitting on your hose, so that when you're assembling, that's not the end of my tape. When you're assembling your fitting, you will know that your fitting is not slipping off of your tape line. So you know that your fitting is not slipping off this way. So you know this is not coming off of your braided hose, because this is going to want to pull this off. So you kind of need to hold everything together all at the same time. I don't know why I can't find the end of my tape here so I can pull this off. And anyways, I'm not worried about that. So then it's real simple. You're going to take a little oil, ATF. You can even, well, I typically use one of those 2 things. I don't like to use WD-40 or silicone-based. And then just, as you're putting this in, just wiggle it like this. Because what that's going to do is get it down inside the end of your AN hose here. So as you're putting it in, you're going to wiggle it. That'll get it down inside. And then you just push, and once you get it straight in that hose, this will become straight with the hose, as you can see. Okay. Then you'll be here, and you just start to tighten. You should be able to go probably about halfway down by hand. Then you can use your wrenches, a vise, whatever. I like to do this in my hand, not in a vise, because I can hold this side with the tube and lock it here, and hold this and lock it here until I get it so snug that I can't turn that anymore by hand. Then I grab a wrench and put it on this side so that I can watch the back side of the hose and make sure it's not coming out of the fitting. So you put a wrench on this side. So now you're here, you'll be able to have a wrench here. You're watching your hose on your back side to make sure it's not coming out. And then what I like to do is just grab a socket and a ratchet and go up to there, and you're just going to tighten very slowly, very easily, keeping pressure of both of these together also. So it's kind of a balancing act, but you'll get it. Keeping pressure both together, and just tighten your ratchet slowly but surely. And I know people are going to say, use AN wrenches, blah, blah, blah. You can use AN wrenches if you have AN wrenches. That's fantastic. I did not use AN wrenches. I used what I just used there. I did not scratch these fittings. I did not put tape over them. It works fine if you're careful and you move slowly. I do not do this all the time. This is probably the 4th AN fitting I've ever installed, and it's the first one in 2 years. But I know a lot of people talk about it and they tell you bottom this out and bottom that out and do this and do that, but they don't show you pictures. They don't show you a video. And there's other videos with guys with these fancy tools and this and that. This is just basic hand tools. Nothing fancy about putting this together. So my tape here, just make sure that I know that my fitting is not walking off of my hose. And then once you're all together, you can look down inside there and you can see that you're seated. You can see everything's good. You can't pull this back off. You can yank on it all you want. It's not coming off. You're set to go. Whatever you're gonna screw into on the other side, it is a flexible fitting, or not flexible, but it's a swivel, so you'll be able to screw that on real easy, whether going to your, carburetor, EFI, whatever, and you have a nice braided, finished, tight line for your new setup. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.